All right, it's been a little over a year since the last time we went over the office and adding things to the office and changes. And I think I said back then, like, oh, maybe after a year we'll do something. And I guess now is a good time to do it because I have to make kind of a semi-big change with this entire area right here. But first, let me play you out a little bit. It's been over a year since I've been here, and it's home now. It's awesome. Love it. Having a great time. Where is Melissa? She is walking around. Melissa, where you going? You've enjoyed it too. She's got a lot of spots. She likes to hide down there in the wires, which not great, but you can't really stop a cat from doing that. Didn't think she'd spend a lot of time up there, but she loves hanging out and just being a nice tall kitty, getting a nice overarching view of the room. And this, of course, the Maja cases, which are now pretty filled in. I'll do I guess, little brief tour here. So next to Melissa Cat is the, this has changed quite a bit, which is the section where like it was gonna be a portable station with everything, all the chargers like plugged in and everything, and the, this is still ready to go. I can turn that on and off. Oh look, a copy of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, second edition on Game Boy Color, which I was messing around with for a little bit. And some of these I've been just shuffling through left and right. This has been so, like, this is exactly what I was going for. You can see it's been a little bit since certain devices have been picked up, being the 3DS right there. But it's been great having certain things just like plugged in, ready to go, and I pick it up and take it and play what I want to play for kind of a short burst. This probably is going to get moved into here fairly soon, which you'll see that in a second. But yeah, the portable station has been super cool. I just put more into this center section. I'm not running power up here, so these are more display pieces, even though the portal I have been taking and using left and right. So I do want to like drill a hole back here and run power to at least that, because this section got filled up pretty quickly, but that's what I'm doing now for a lot of the portables, and had these like acrylic standees to display more of them. And then up here has been my growing Yu-Gi-Oh addiction, because I keep saying I've gotten back into the TCG and it's really got its hooks in me quite firmly. So got a bunch of like cool graded cards and things I pulled and picked up, and little statues and everything, knickknacks, nerd shit, you know how it is. And then Pokemon, which, you know, why did the Game Freak like breach have to happen? Why did the leaks have to happen? I mean, Typhlosion fans have just been kind of skirting around for 20-something years, just casually enjoying Typhlosion, being Typhlosion enjoyers. Then we got Hisuian Typhlosion, that was amazing. And then just it all went south very fast. I don't think any of us really saw it coming, but I'll still support my boy and enjoy him a lot. So that's what we got going on with that section over here. Of course, you see this, I guess, somewhat frequently, just changing knickknacks and things around. My core principle, as I mentioned before, with the entire setup, if you remember me setting up this entire room, was it was designed with expansion, because I keep buying more and more video games, obviously. In fact, I think from the before and after, right? Because I still catalog games, because we did a separate upload where I was cataloging all my games, determining values, and finally like alphabetizing everything. And back then I think I was just short of 1,000 games. Now I'm at like 1,200 or something like that, so a fair amount. And I've got more to throw in right here. So well, before that, the Maja case. Okay, so you've seen this, which is a lot of the Jack stuff. That hasn't really changed all that much. I did, for whatever reason, decide, you know what, let me put some PlayStation 3 models on display, and bam, Kawakami right there. I really had no idea where else I was going to put her. But the PlayStation Museum, you've seen this kind of grow, I guess, to a degree. I mean, well, this was last year, right, where I finally opened up this Reflection's crazy. These new in-box PlayStation 3 models. So I've got a 60 and the 20, the 2013 PS4. That thing is a very nice, clean example. My PS2 and PS1 examples aren't nearly as clean. You can see the sort of damage this thing's got up here. It's a very early model, but I just don't have a super clean example of that. And then the PlayStation X, of course. You know what's crazy too? Like, and I was saying this with the PS4, I'm like, I want these consoles displayed just as they were in marketing materials. That's why I had a brand new in-box vertical stand for the PS4 to display it as it looked in the press materials. PS2, you remember I bought an official vertical stand that was practically new in box. I lost that during the move. I cannot find that thing for the life of me. So that's annoying. Up here are some portables. Now, the thing is, like, I decided right away, like, okay, we're gonna just do Gen 1 PlayStation models in this middle section for the PlayStation Museum, as it were. Up here, I've got a lot more room to play with for portables, so I might do, like, actual true variations of every single, you know, PSP and Vita, which Vita there's not many to do, obviously, but I've got a lot of room to play with up here. Just put it like this for now. So it's like, a lot of this is still incredibly subject to change, so bear that in mind. The Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, it's still going on up here. I didn't actually intend to ever put these up here. I didn't realize just how big these statues were when I pre-ordered them. Like, this would have been 2-something years ago now at this point, but they take up so much room. I'm like, okay, they're gonna have to go in the Module case for the time being. They probably will get moved out at some point because this is clearly not enough room to fill this out for an entire, well, for this midsection, it's not enough to do a full PlayStation Museum with like the various accessories and things that I've been collecting as well. Because mainline consoles and the more obscure PSX, like this has already filled up all this, right? So that kind of blows. And I put a bunch of like booster boxes up there just to fill it out. Because for a while, this whole thing was pretty empty. So now I've finally got it filled in just a little bit more. Oh, we zoomed in way too much. Okay, now let's get into the core issue with the game collection, which is it's set up for expansion. You can see towards the bottom of certain platforms, you've got big box collector's editions and controllers and things like that. And I have every intention of moving these out as games go in. The issue is it took a year, but now I'm finally to a point where I just recently picked up a bunch of these PS2 games. You probably saw that. They got to go in, but PlayStation 2, as you can see, it's down to the bottom. So if we're going to expand PS2, that means everything has got to move over one. Now I could very briefly just move PS3 down one level, take these figures out, but I feel like that's just a short-term thing that I probably am not. I mean, I got more PS2 stuff on the way, so I'm probably gonna go into a second shelf immediately anyway. So I'm gonna move everything over, and that's kind of what we're gonna do right now, especially PS5 too. We're not gonna like hit the bottom, but like it's approaching it rapidly with more PlayStation 5 stuff as well. Also, I didn't talk about this. This is a lounger. Now, I got the Blue Eyes blanket on here because, you know, Melissa, she being a cat, so she wants to lay on it, and that's just so she can't, well, she probably still could, but to deter damage otherwise, it's just like a nice leather lounger. I realized with the Herman Miller, I mean, it's great for the whole posture thing when I'm working and doing videos and whatnot, but when I'm like dead on trying to just like do recreational play, because a lot of time if it's for videos, I'll film on this monitor from this direction. Typically, if I'm like just sitting down, gaming, having a good time, this was not fun. I wanted to lounge, so I got that. And this too. So you lounge, dead on, good stuff. Okay, now let's get to the moving portion. Let's fix this. So I think the best course of action right now is pushing the Xbox collection downwards, combining that with PlayStation Vita up top, and that's where everything can move one segment over. And then some of the stuff I have down here could easily just start coming out. Because all this stuff, like towards the bottom, can come out. That was the entire purpose, since they're all, you know, boxes and things like that. So I think that's how I'm going to approach this. Some of the stuff I have down here, just the, you know, N64 controller for MSO, Super Nintendo controller, got some imports for the Pokemon. These are just fun to display. I might put those somewhere else in the house because, I mean, ironically, this room is full, like it's full-ish. You know, now I can just make changes outside of game expansion. So certain parts are definitely going to just move somewhere else. Still kicking around that idea of doing a kind of like a retro room, you know, where I set up like a CRT. Because the other aspect of this that I fully like come to terms with, at a certain point, I think like non-PlayStation stuff will probably move out, especially at the rate that I'm buying games, which I'm kind of okay with. Like the Game Boy Advance stuff, like Game Boy Color, and especially my complete in box Pokemon stuff, I want those front facing. They look so good front facing, but the second you front face anything, the surface area it takes up increases substantially. So at a certain point, I think that is what is going to happen to this corner. It can hold a lot of games, but probably not the most viable 5-10 year long-term solution. So at a certain point, things are going to go somewhere else. It's not enough room. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to move into the Nintendo stuff. So, you know, I got that. I could do this, but that's original Xbox next to Xbox One, which some might argue, what's the problem? We all know what the damn problem is. Don't be a smart ass. I just don't have a lot. I gotta leave it there for now. More little knickknacks. I think the icon light's actually in here too. Well, I've got the colored one. The colored one's in here. The blue one's already set up over there. So I could probably put that somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, it's like I had a Wii box vertical there. That doesn't make any sense, you know? It was just to fill up the space. Now I can actually, that does give me some. If I take this out now, that gives me some headroom here to maybe address the Xbox thing. I don't know. We'll cross that road once I get to it. I have Kung Fu Hustle, Samurai Champloo Volume 1 through 4 on UMD Video. That's how you know your boy's a real one. This is why I don't buy these things anymore, you know? Like, look at how big Coffee Talk is. I think you can see this. And then, you know, if we go to like the Uncharted 4 collection thing, like, look at this, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this stuff's cool, but if you buy every one of these for every game that you're mildly interested in, like, come on. Like, this is a decent sized room too, you know? Well, I knew that was gonna happen, son of a bitch. Alright, that is basically what I was looking to do, is free up this row right here. Because PS2 is completely maxed out. There was no room at all. So now with the 12 or so games, I can start up here. The annoying part is like, this is all gonna have to be knickknacks. But I do have more PlayStation 2 coming fairly soon, more stuff that I have to pick up for something. So I'm sure this will fill up with due time. But for now, I got everything notched over one. All right, here is the finished product. I think compromises had to be made. I did fix the Xbox stuff, so this I don't like. I don't like going from one platform directly to the other. You know, I like it being like a hard stop and then there's room downward. But like there's no other way. I had to squeeze these together. So at the very least, it's still in order. But otherwise, pretty good. The PS5 stuff's in now. You can see the problem has been addressed for PS2. So all those games that were waiting to go in, they are now officially alphabetized in. And then this is, of course, like your X and Y and everything. But it does look goofy with like how much had to be filled in right here. So that's a slight compromise to, you know, just make sure that everything was moved over a column. And I do have more PS2 stuff on the way, so I'll already be like on this column very soon. But otherwise, that's it. I think it's, you know, decent. Because in theory, we'll someday do one of these updates, and this will be nothing but games, filled the entire way through, so all the boxes and everything are just there to fill in the blanks. And I don't really know what I want to do at the top. This just looks like a haphazard mess. That was like something I did right when I moved in and made slight changes, but otherwise it still looks pretty goofy. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this minor update on the office, the collection, and just indulging in this this stuff that we all love to do, because I sit and watch this stuff with other people's channels all the time. So that's it. Melissa, say bye. Melissa.